Hello, everyone. You're welcome to Journey to Tech 2024. This is the first class for the UK and Nigerian set. All right, so just to clarify before I start, we're going to be learning the same thing. US Canada set, UK Nigerian set. The reason why we have this segregation is to allow for time flexibility. We want to ensure that uh, people at different geo time zones are able to join the class when it is convenient for them. And we feel after work is convenient for them. So that way, you're able to go to work and then take some rest, then join the class. All right. As regards the quality of what we're going to be teaching, there is no other than you're getting the same. It's the same trainer that is taking both classes. So that's it. You're welcome again. My name is Obafemi Adegoke. You probably have seen it on the Zoom now, but you can simply call me Coach in case the name proves somehow for you to pronounce. And I'll be the one to take you through this Journey to Tech boot camp. And we are starting with a free Linux administration module. Linux is an operating system, just like you have Windows operating system and Mac operating system. However, the choice of teaching Linux is deliberate because 95% of world top enterprise, when I mean enterprise, I mean corporate organization, their servers run on Linux. Do not take my word for it. You can do a simple Google check. Statistics at their databases there to tell you. Not only that, Linux is light and also a flexible operating system that is easy to manage, right? And most of the cloud administration tools that we use for deployment in cloud and even for DevOps, many of them are built within the Linux environment. So it is very important that for anyone coming into the tech space, especially the technical aspect of the tech space, knows how to use or how to maneuver Linux operating system. Okay. And then it is our belief that nobody should pay to learn the language of a tribe. Tech is our tribe, and the language basically is Linux. There are other programming languages, but I tell you, Linux is general. Okay. And then we want you to have that for free. And also, we want you to be able to decide after 3 weeks of learning with us if you want to continue and if truly this tech thing is for you. Because most persons are carried away with the glamour that comes with it, remote work, good job payment, not knowing that it takes determination and then you have to put your back into it. Most persons don't know what they are getting into until they are in the middle of it, where they can no longer turn back. And for some, you weather through and it pays off. For others, frustration sets in. They don't know whether to continue, but they just keep shifting from one tech course to another. But this class is going to help us put perspective. We won't only be teaching Linux, we will also be exposing us to the different parts of technical IT field and their prospects. Okay. So in this class, it's going to be more of reconnaissance. From our second class, we'll begin to get into learning Linux properly. So I'm going to introduce us to the platform. We'll set it up, and then we'll see how far we can go from there. My name again is Obafemi Adegoke, and I've been a server administrator for more than a decade now. And in fact, more than 15 years, I've been a hardware engineer. So I've been around computers. Yeah. And I'm also DevOps practitioner. I support organizations within and outside my country of residence. And I'm also a petroleum engineer. Yeah. So I'm going to be bringing all of this experience to bear in this training session. And I want to encourage us to please be open-minded and then be willing and ready to learn. So like I told the US and another class yesterday, there would not be stupid questions in this class. We are here to learn. So no matter how it sounds in your head, don't dispel it. Ask nevertheless, as long as it is related to what we are learning. Don't ask once, ask twice, thrice until you're sure your understanding is complete. Okay. And I know that we are gentlemen and women. I would not want you to be civil in this class. At any point you have question, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay. There are times that I get carried away in teaching. It gets so interesting that I may not look at my Zoom dashboard and I won't see that you've raised up your hand. So just unmute and ask your question. Okay. I will only implore us that let's keep our question to what we are learning in class. All right, let's not bother about greenhouse effect or climate change in this class. Those are very valid things to discuss. However, in this class, we have limited time together. We'll be spending 3 hours per class. So let's make good use of it. We can do this discussion outside of the class. All right. And then I think that's it. I can see our names. I would not want to kill time by asking us to begin to do introduction. But then I can see that our facilitator is also here, Mrs. Urola Bokno. Please unmute yourself and say something to the folks you have brought here. Let them know you didn't leave them on free.
Thank you, Mr. Bafemi. Hello, everyone. My name is Wura Bokno. I am the facilitator of this program. So I'm available on the WhatsApp group if you require any clarification or you just would like to ask us any question. And I'm hoping that you will enjoy this course. I want us to put in our best. No knowledge is lost. So I believe this is a great opportunity for us to gain more knowledge when it comes to Linux. And then look forward to the DevOps bootcamp that is promising to open doors for us. All right. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. So let's get into it. The environment we're going to be using is AWS. There are many environments we can use. We have virtual machines, which we can run on any of the type 2 hypervisors. Meanwhile, I'm aware that this is a mixed class. We have people with computer science background, and we also have people with zero computer science background. Okay, so it's going to be very elementary. I'm breaking it down. So that means At any point in time I use a word you do not understand, okay, you might want to write it down and then ask what I mean by it later. But I promise to be very careful in my diction and also to explain some of these words. Okay. What I mean by hypervisors, type 1, type 2, I'll come and share it with you even in this class. All right. So let's get back into our line of thoughts. I'm telling us about the environment. We want to learn in the next 7 classes Linux operating system, how to manage and how to use, how to maneuver Linux operating system, different things you need to know as a prospective site reliability engineer, as a prospective cloud administrator or cloud architect, or as a prospective DevOps engineer, part of Linux that should build your strength on. Okay. However, you know that to milk a cow, the first thing you actually need is a cow that you want to milk. So to learn Linux, the first thing you need is the Linux platform. So for uniformity, we decide to use Linux on a cloud provider platform. And the platform is Amazon Web Services, AWS. So the first thing we're going to do is to set up an AWS account for those that do not have. Okay. Now I'm aware that some of us might probably have been exposed from other bootcamps to virtual machines from Oracle VirtualBox or Hyper-V or VMware. Those are good. Or you may even have a physical host, a computer that is running primarily on on Linux operating system. That is beautiful. All right. However, I want to encourage us all to ensure we are learning the commands and the sequences from wherever platform choose to. But for this bootcamp, we encourage that you use AWS. One strong reason is so that you can begin to get early exposure to cloud provider platforms like AWS, Azure, GCP, Alibaba, and all of that. Ali Cloud and all of that. Yes. Right? So after we have got an AWS account, we would need an SSH client. There are varieties of them. Temios, PuTTY, Mobile Xterm, VS Code. But again, for uniformity, we're going to be using Temios and VS Code. If you have other kinds and you know how to move your way around them, no problem. The important thing again is ensure you are learning and you understand what you are doing part time. All right. Now, if you have an AWS account and it is more than a year, then I encourage that you open another one. Why? You will no longer have access to some of the free tier services if your account is more than a year. Okay. Or in fact, if your account is 8 months old, open a new one. Because by the time we get into DevOps properly, we're going to be using tools that are now available for free tier. Okay, so you should not be incurring bills at the early stage like this. Right. So let's get into it. You are in class and you do not have an AWS account, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Give me thumbs up. All right. Okay. So, Mr. Gabriel, if I make you a co-host, are you able to share your screen right now so that we can use your screen to show the rest of us how to open an AWS account? Because I already have one. I would not need to open another one. So are you connected from your PC? Can you share your screen?
I'm not connected through my PC. At the moment, I'm using a tab to connect.
Okay, so who is connected from their PC and is willing to share their screen? Is anyone? Okay, no problem. If there's no one like that, we can still work around it. We'll see. Let me see if I can get another browser up. Then I'll share my screen from the browser and I'm going to use that. Okay, Father Francis can share his screen. That's beautiful. Thank you. I'm sorry if that father is not the proper pronunciation. I just got carried away saying,
No, it's just
uh,
my nickname. So
oh,
it's
okay,
my
then
nickname.
I
That's why
think
it's FADAR Francis, Father
oh, all
Francis.
right.
It's just a
I
nickname.
mean, I didn't want to turn you to a Catholic when you're not.
I am a Catholic.
Oh, beautiful there. So I'm another. So please,
We are very much.
you're now a
We are very,
co-host. You
you
can
said
share
what?
your screen. I've made you a co-host now, so you can share your screen, please.
Okay, I'll do that right away.
So I want to encourage the rest of us as we are doing this, you should do with us. Okay, this is the class where we are going to do all the necessary installations. And that means we might move a bit slow today because we'll be attending to everyone, right? As from next class, it will be full throttle learning Linux. All right, so you can see your screen. Can you open another tab? And on that tab, search for AWS sign up. Sign up. Yeah. Is tap enter. Okay, so look at the link that says AWS. Exactly. Please click on that. All right, please. How many persons is doing this with us? Let's be sure how many persons we are carrying along. Mr. Gabriel, your hands was up. Are you also doing this from your PC? To
Yes, I'm
gospel?
doing it on my PC, but I'm not
Oh,
connected with to the class on my PC.
but are you also opening an AWS
Yes,
account?
I'm opening AWS account on my PC now.
Okay, beautiful. So I want to be sure we are carrying people along. Okay, so now click on create an AWS account. So the first thing we do is to put your root user email. So please put your email here. If you have a Gmail, it will be better or whatever, whichever one you have. So save. Okay, so what name do you want your account to bear? I'll say maintain that you use Father Francis. But please, that's just my own idea. You might want to use anyone you want to. You can actually change the name after the sign up. It's not as though it's not changeable. Okay, so click verify email address now. So you might want to open the email on your phone. They would have sent a verification code to you. Okay, so now that you verified your email, please enter your root password. ensure it is minimum of 6 alphanumeric characters. It should have an uppercase, lowercase, and a special character. Okay. So please go ahead now. Enter password. All right. Okay, please check personal for your own project. Okay. So this part, please hold on, sir. You're going to unshare your screen now to fill this part. We should protect your privacy. Okay. So this screen and the next after this, once you're done with this screen, the next screen will be where you'll be asked to submit your credit card credentials. I'm not sure if you've heard of AWS, but I should tell you that it's a very credible organization, right? And it originates from the US. Not because it's from the US, but it's been around for more than 15 years, and it's very credible. So do not be scared that you are getting exposed if you enter your credit card details. No. For those that are resident in UK and US knows better what I'm talking about. That's one. Two, when you enter your credit card details or debit card, whichever one, you're going to be charged $1 just for them to confirm if that card is active and if it is operational, which will be returned back to you after 12 hours. Okay. Now, if you read what you have at your left-hand side, it says free tier offer. All AWS accounts can explore 3 different types of free offers. Always free, 12 months free trials. So it is expected that in the next 12 months, you have access to some services for free. All right. So don't think you're going to be charged arbitrarily by entering your credit or debit card details. All I will need you to do is stay within the line. Do not color outside of the box. If you stay within our guidance here in this boot camp, you will not incur any charge. And if you're going to incur any charge, I will let you know at what point because of some services. But that will be far when we get deeper into learning DevOps. And these are very minimal charges, less than 10 USD a month. Okay, so please go ahead, fill this part, fill the next one. When you're done filling the 2 screens, you can return and share your screen again. But for now, I'll share my screen instead while you and the rest fill that part. Okay, please go ahead now and let me know if you're having any challenge as you're filling the.
Sorry. Can I ask a question, please?
Please go ahead, sir.
If my debit card is not in USD, let's assume other currencies.
It won't be any problem. As long as it is accepted, yeah.
It will be okay. I
Yeah.
just want to be
Whatever they charge will be returned back to your account. You just need to confirm.
No, I just want to be sure that they can remove charges or their phone in other currency
Oh,
in
yes, they can.
equivalent to USD.
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll have to. Main account. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other person, if you have questions, please ask.
Is the credit card mandatory?
Yes, please. You can't proceed except you enter your payment details.
All right.
Welcome. But don't entertain any fear. Don't be scared. I've been using the AWS platform for many years, both as a professional and starting as a learner like you are starting now. I've never at any point in time had any reason to query them. And for those who have had reason to appeal because they were charged, their money was applied back to their account. And then they even school you on how not to incur charges again. But like I said, there is no reason at all to be skeptical. All right, so let me know how we are doing. If you have been able to scale through those two screens, please tell me so I can we can proceed. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. iPhone Yink, are you just joining us? Okay, I'm sure by the time we start proper, there will be ground rule that everyone should please use their name so we can interact properly. But for now, we'll allow it. iPhone Yink, are you just joining? Okay, so if you're just joining, do you have an AWS account? Have you heard of AWS before? Do you have an account with them? What we are doing currently is we are creating AWS account. Yes, that's good. Is it up to a year? Is the AWS account up to 1 year? Okay, so if it is up to a year, I will encourage you that you open another one, except if you don't mind uh, being charged for some simple services we're going to be using. So if it is more than a year, in fact, if it is 8 months old, I will encourage you to join what we are doing right now. Open another one because once your account is a year old, you no longer have access to some free services and trial services. Yeah, but if you don't mind being charged, you can just decide to uh, maintain the one you already have. Okay. All right. So, well, I couldn't get a job recommendation from Nigeria. Oh well. I don't think that's relevant at this point. We can talk about that when we are deep into when we are deep into Linux. For now, let's stay within Linux. Okay, we'll be sharing and exposing us to how we can get job recommendations and all of that. All right. So who has been able to pass those two stages where you entered your house address and your card details. Father Francis, Mr. Gabriel.
Yeah, I'm at the basic support to free whatever.
You've passed through those first two stages, yeah?
Yeah, send out a
Okay.
text, SMS
The
text to
the
get the code.
the support, please don't select the free one. I think there are three options there. Select the basic, free basic support. Did you copy?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm done. Congratulations, that's what it says. So
Okay. So click on your console. Click go to console management then. Okay. So subsequent classes, I want to encourage us to connect with our PC so that you can share your screen real time. Because as is, if you run into any problem, we will not be able to help because you are unable to share your screen. All right, Father Francis, what's the update?
Hello, I've done the payments. I've made confirmation. They sent confirmation to me.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, I've done I've done
So
the
please go ahead and share
confirmation.
your screen then.
Now they are trying to. They want to confirm the verification code. They want to
Oh,
confirm human if I'm not robot. I'm not a robot.
okay.
Yeah,
So does that mean you're still on the payment page?
I've done the. No.
You've
Not
passed the payment stage. So please
yes.
share your screen if you have passed the payment stage.
1891. 1891.
Okay. That's it. So select the basic support free, ready, scroll down and then complete sign up. That's it. Go to console. Congratulations. You have. All right. So can I get feedback from the rest of us? Mr. Gospel, what's the
Yes,
update with you?
I'm here too.
Have you been able to create your AWS?
Yes, I'm at this page that he's at too.
Yeah, on the console home.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Where's are we waiting for? Okay. Gabriel, iPhone Ying says he has an account, so he probably wants to maintain the one he's using. So I think we can move on now. All right. So if you look at the top, Father Francis, do you want to click next on those things because it's your first time? That's why you are seeing all of that. Next, done, and done. Okay. So let me tell us, I know some of us are seeing this screen for the first time, and you have questions as to all the icons you are seeing from the top left-hand side where you have the AWS icon, the services, the search pane, then the cloud shell, and then the notification or alarm bell, and then you can ask questions and all of that. We will do this when we get into AWS properly. We need AWS now because we want to access Linux platform on them. All right, so all questions that have to do with AWS, I will answer, and then I will even answer beyond the ones you did not ask when we get into AWS. What we just want to do in the next 7 classes is to use Linux on this platform because it is easy that way to use Linux on a cloud platform. If I had to take us to all of us to be setting up Oracle VirtualBox 2 classes, we might still be on it. And then it slows down learning. All right. But I think I'll make a video. I promised the class yesterday to show them. But rather than coming to class to show them VirtualBox, I'll make about 30 minutes video to show them those who wish to have Oracle VirtualBox and how to set up virtual machines on it. So let's move on. If you look at the top right-hand side of your AWS console home, you will see your account name. The one we are seeing currently is Father Francis. And when he clicked on it, we see his account ID. Every AWS account has its own unique account ID, 12 digits. Okay. Now, Father Francis is signed into his account as root, R-O-O-T, root. In Linux, root is what you will call administrator in Windows or even in your enterprise resource planning tools or the applications we use in corporate environment like SAP, like Ariba, all of that. Those you call administrators, Linux calls them root. Because AWS is also heavy on Linux, they also call them root. Now, when you sign into your account, either AWS account or your server as a root, you are most powerful. You can do everything and anything. That also means you are most vulnerable because any mistake, you do what you do not intend to do, or someone does it while you are standing as root, it will take effect immediately. Why? When root users are working, permissions are not denied. You are very unlimited as to what you can do, how far you can go, either on your platform or on your server. So it is strongly advised that you do not work as root, either on your AWS platform or any other cloud platform, or even when you are working on a server, either on the job or at home, work as an ordinary or a regular user, not as the root user. If you work as the root user, you can break your production system. You can enter a command you're not supposed to enter, and you will not be limited, right? So, even though I said we are learning Linux for now, but for best practices sake, we are going to do a bit of AWS work and then we get back into Linux. So I will want everyone that just created an AWS account to also create an IAM user. And that's the user they will be using to sign into their account. Okay. So IAM means identity and access management. We'll be talking deeper about it when we get into AWS. So now, Father Francis, please click on services. Is the second icon at the top left-hand side. All right, so if you click on services, if you scroll down, you will see identity, security, and something. Yes, security, identity, and compliance. Second to the last. If you click on that, okay, so these are the one at the left-hand side are the headings where all the more than 300 services available on AWS Cloud Platform can be accessed. Okay. So these are the services under security, identity, and compliance, artifact, audit manager, certificate manager, cloud HSM, cognito, detective. Some of these services, we're going to be looking at them when we get into AWS. All right. So right now, I need you to scroll down the one beside where you are exactly. Okay. When you scroll down, you should see IAM. Don't click it yet. But have you seen it, everyone? Please unmute yourself and then speak into your mic. Has everybody seen IAM?
Yes.
Good. Now, if you take your cursor close to IAM, it will show you a star icon. If you click on the star icon, it will create a bookmark bar for you on your AWS account and bookmark this service there. Do you want to do that now? Click it. Okay. So the moment you do that, if you look at your console, you will see there is now a bookmark bar, and the first bookmarked item there is IAM. So that way you want to access IAM, you will not need to go through this process again. You just go to the bookmark bar and click on IAM. That's one. Two, if you don't know under which subheading a service is, you can use the search pane. So Father Francis, kindly go to your search pane and type IAM. So any service you're looking for, you don't know the subheading, just go to the search pane. It will list for you things related to that service. So do you see now that we have IAM? All right. So that's another way you can search for, you can get your services. All right. Thank you. Please click outside of here. Good. So do you see your bookmark bar? And do you see IAM? That's it. Thank you. So from there, click on IAM now. You want to create a user. We're going to make that user an administrator. So the user is an elevated user. The user will be able to perform some things. Okay. So now you are on your IAM dashboard. I want to believe everyone is on their IAM dashboard. The first thing we want to do is to create user groups. Now, best practice says that when you create a user, you don't put permissions directly on the user. So let's say we are a company right now, and then we want to create user for new intakes. And let's say one of them is going to be a data administrator. So we're going to create that user, and then we'll give data administration permission to that user. What we would have done naturally is when we are creating the user, we put the permission policy on the user. But best practice says that you should not do that. Rather, create a group first. When you create a group, put the permission on that group. So we create group based on job functions. If we are going to have database administrators, then we should create a group and call the group DB admin or whatever name you want to put them. It is a custom name, but something that you can easily see. You can see and easily know, okay, this is what this group is for. DB admin. So all the policies, all the permissions will be on that. Now, when I create a user and I add such user to the group, the users will inherit the policy permissions on the group. It is easy to manage IAM users that way than to keep permissions directly on the users. So all this story now, let's put it into practice. If you look at the left-hand side, you will see access management, and then below it, you see user groups. Please click on user groups. Let's go create user group. Currently, there are no user group. Okay. So you've clicked on create user group. That's beautiful. So let's call this user group administrator or admin. Let's call the group admin. That's good. Scroll down. There are no users yet. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to attach permissions to the group. It says you can attach up to 10 policies to this user group. All the users in this group, we have permissions that are defined in the selected policies. Beautiful. So we want to make the user going to create an administrator, full admin. So we are creating a group and we will put on that group administrator access. So every member of this group will automatically be administrators, full administrator. There are other kind of administrators. I just told you, you can have database administrator, you can have a content administrator, you can have a relational database administrator, you can have a storage administrator, whatever name. You will see all of them here. Okay, but we want to have full administrators. So let's go a bit technical now. If you look at the first policy, it says administrator access. And if you look under the description for that policy, it says provides full access to AWS services, right? So it means if we put this permission on the group, then members of the group will have full access to AWS services, right? One good question will now be, okay, if I give full access to AWS services to a user, what would now be the difference from root access? Okay. As an IAM user, even when you have full access to AWS services, you do not have access to the billing interface. The billing interface is where you will see your credit card, what you have incurred over the months or over the years, the credit that has been applied to your account in terms of a promo or discount. Okay. That screen, that interface can only be seen when you signed in as root. But irrespective of the permission you have, As an administrator, you will not be able to see that screen. And that is a major protection. Okay. So please scroll leftward now. Thank you. Now, do you see the plus before administrator access? Can you expand it? Click on it. No. I'm all right. I'm not saying you should expand your screen. Please return it back to the font size. All right. So do you see the JSON policy of that permission? Okay. The effect, what's in front of the effect? Let's interact, class.
Allow.
Unmute yourself. Allow. Good. In front of action, what do you see? Asterisk. In front of resource, what do you see? Also asterisk.
Yes.
Now, in Linux, in HTML, in JSON, hypertext markup language, you know these languages I've mentioned. Asterisk means all. It also means everything. It also means anything. It also means anonymous. And you know, anonymous can mean anybody or anything. Okay. So, having that understanding, who wants to attempt to explain in one line what this policy statement means? Anybody wants to try?
Accept all, allow all actions and resources.
You're close. Allow all actions on all resources. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is more than an admin, the full administrator access than that? Okay. It says allow what actions? All actions. On what resources? On all resources. That's it. Okay. Collapse it now. Let's go see another one. Let's see the one below it. Yeah. Expand the one below it. Can you hear me, sir? Expand the policy below administrator access. Good. Do you see the effect here is also allow? Now for action, you see that here they have to list all the plenty things you can do. Cloud formation, create change set, create stack, delete stack. And on resources as well, scroll down the policy. You see that on the resources, they also now have to list on specific resource. Okay, go back up. Let's go search for database administrator. No, not here. Come down. Yeah, under attached permissions, where you have that search. Beautiful. Search for database. Just type database. Okay, do you see database administrator? Expand it. Good. So do you see what we see here is the action you can perform and the resources you can perform them. So if I create a user group and I give this permission to that user group, it means that members of that group can only do as much as this JSON policy allows them. Services outside the ones covered under this policy, they cannot access them. Okay. Not to worry, when we get into AWS properly, we will still learn about IAM in depth. I told you why we are here is for us to set up Linux accounts. Okay, so please close the filter and then let's go and check. Thank you. Now, so check the one for administrator access. That's the first one. Provide. No, check it. Check it this time. Check the box. Beautiful. Thank you. So scroll down all the way down. Create user group. Now we have created a user group. Is anybody lost? For those who are just joining us, what we did is to first create an AWS account. And I suggested or advised that if you have an AWS account that is 8 months old, we need to create another one so that you can have access to free tier. Usually free tier AWS accounts give you access to some services for free for 12 months. All right. That's what I'm saying. If it is 8 months old, you might want to open another one. Okay, so after we opened an AWS account, we want to create IAM user, and this is where you've joined us, right? I hope you'll be able to follow up from here. Okay, so now that we've created user group, for those of us that started with us early, let me know, Mr. Gabriel, Mr. Gospel, have you
Yes, I'm at this
created your
point, sir.
user group?
Yes.
Beautiful. So let's move on. Next, we now want to create users. Okay. So please go to users now.
Yeah, can I get a moment, please?
Please go ahead.
So I tap the user groups to create the user group. I just put admin and then just go down, create user group.
No, you put a policy on it. Did you check any of the permissions?
The policy name, I was trying to expand it, but it just keeps going. It
You
kept
don't have to
voting.
expand it. Just check. There's a check box. There's a box you can check. Okay, but
Okay, so
ensure
which
you
one?
check the one
Which one am
for. Go
I?
ahead.
Administrator access.
There are many admin. Check you are checking the one for the admin that gives full access. It is usually the first one on that list.
So that is administrator access.
You said?
The administrator access. The
Have you
first
checked
one.
it?
I've checked it. I'm just asking the right one to check. Is that the one I'm checking?
Yes. Under the description of the one you check, can you read out what you see under the description column?
Is it provides full access to AWS services?
Correct. That's the one you
Uh,
should check. Check it and then scroll down and click on create user group.
okay. All done.
All right, so let's move on now. We now want to create user. Father Francis, kindly click create user. Let's go create user now. So give the user a name. What name do you want to give to the user? I can put user one, I can put consultant, I can put anything if it were you, but it's your call. I always encourage trainees to make their username all lowercase, all in lowercase. But again, it's your call as well. I don't mind doing. Okay, so this user you're creating, you can decide to give the user programmatic access and console
I'm
access.
lost. How did you get to this point? What did you see?
Return
Admin?
back to your IAM dashboard.
Okay, IAM dashboard.
Are you there?
Okay. Yes.
Under user groups, you will see users.
Users. Okay.
Click on users,
Okay.
then click on create user.
Create user. Okay.
Are we good to go?
Yes.
Okay, so give your username the name you want it to be now. Give it a name. When you've given it a name, look at that box. Provide user access to AWS Management Console. This
Yes.
user we are about to create, do we want that user to be able to access AWS from the console? That's what you are seeing here. Okay. There are about 5 ways you can access your AWS account. From the GUI. GUI means graphics user interface. And that's the one you are on currently, where you can click, where it is colorful, where you can drag, where you can check something. That's it. We also have the CLI, command line interface. That interface is only input output. You enter a command, if it is correct, it gives you the corresponding output. You can access via the SDK, Software Development Kit. We have tools like Auto3, that's Python way of accessing AWS account. We also have APIs, application programming interfaces. Okay, when we begin to learn Terraform, it's an IAC tool. You will see where Terraform connects with your AWS platform after you've given it the necessary permission, all of that. But for now, we'll major on the console access, which is the GUI and the CLI. All right, so we want to, oh, you already checked that, that's good. Now we want to create an IAM user. Someone asked in class yesterday, why are we creating using the second one when AWS recommended the first one? So let's read together. Starting from the first one, specify a user and identity center. Or let's not waste time. I will explain this again when we get into AWS. The short answer I gave that fellow yesterday was, with IAM user, we are going to have access to the things we ought to know as learners on the platform. Okay, that's the summary. But when we get into AWS properly, I'll break it down, the difference between those two things you're seeing on your screen. For now, let's move ahead. So please check the second one that says, I want to create an IAM user. Good. So the console password, either we use auto-generated password or custom password. I will say let's use auto-generated password. Okay. And then look at the box. It says users must create a new password at next sign in. Let me break it down here. Let's say Father Francis is the cloud administrator of our organization. All of us in this class work for the same organization. And a new employee joined us yesterday, and Father Francis has been asked to go and set up use IAM user for the new employee. If Father Francis comes here, do all of this, and then after clicking next, the sign-in credentials of that user is out, and then he sent it to the user via email or whatever. If the user is unable to change the password that Father Francis sent to the user, what do you think could happen if you just joined a company and they sent you your login credentials and you're unable to change the password they gave you. That's when they ask you to continue with. Do you think there's any security challenge with that process? Let's interact, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because what that means is if anything happens and it is traced to the account of the new employee, the new employee can come up and say, well, the password I have is a public password, isn't it? He was unable to change it. It was passed down to him. And he can come and say, he's not the only one that have access to the password. So it's important when you do this on the job for new employers or you help them to reset their password, compel them to change the password on their next login. Okay. The reason why you may uncheck this users must create a new password and next sign in is if you are the one that wants to use this user and if it is temporary. Let's say I just quickly want to create an IAM user just to do one or two things, which is legitimate, not to do shady things. Okay. I don't have the time to be changing password. I can uncheck it. Maybe I just want to run a very simple case scenario in deploying an application. Okay. But standard says that when you reset password for an employee, when you create new credentials for an employee, ensure they change the password at their next signing. That way, they can't come and say their password is compromised. If they come to say so, the company has the right to nail them. Because how did it get compromised if you created it by yourself? So that's it. Now click on next. Let's move on. Now look at it. No, no, no. Don't go too fast, please. Scroll up. Set permissions. Let's read together. Add user to existing group or create a new one. Using groups is a best practice way to manage users' permissions by jump functions. You see that I explained that to us. So if the user we want to create will only work on databases, then we should add that user to the group we have created for database administrators. And what that means is the moment I see database administrators group, I assume that the policy, the permission on that group is only to access database services. Okay, so members of such group cannot access services outside of database. That's what it means. All right. Permission options, there are 3 of them. You can put it directly on the user. You can add user to group, and you can copy permissions from existing users. Okay. The one AWS recommend, which is best practice, not only on AWS platform, even on other cloud platform, is to add user to the group. Okay, it has already been checked. If you scroll down, you will see the group that you created some minutes ago. So check that group. That's it. Now scroll down to next. Summary of what we have been doing. Scroll down all the way and then create user. So we've created an IAM user successfully. What you want to do is download the .csv file. so that you can have access to the user credentials. This is the only time you'll be able to see your console password and all of this. All right. If you have downloaded the file, you can return to users list. So the next thing we want to do is we now want to sign into our AWS account, not as root this time, but as an IAM user. Okay. So can you open the file you just downloaded? You can use Excel spreadsheet to do that. Others, are you still following, please? If you're lost, let me know so we can find you.
So at the stage where you select auto-generated password,
Okay.
then I click on users must create a new password that's signing recommended, or
You unchecked it?
it should it be checked?
No, it should be checked. That's what I was trying to explain.
Okay. Yeah. So then next it's asking me there's a couple of next and previous, so I should check the admin
Yes.
stuff that.
Check the admin
Yeah.
group. That means you are adding that user to the admin group.
And then create user.
Yes.
Okay.
Since it
Thank you.
has been long you used your Excel, Father Francis. So to save time, please close this. Let's go and use, or you might leave it to run or minimize it. Let's go and use Notepad to open that file. We do not have this time. So please go back to the downloaded file and open with Notepad. Do you know how to do that? Go to your download folder. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello,
I can
can you
hear
hear
you.
me? Please go to your download
I can hear
folder.
you.
Okay. So where's the right click? Open with, choose another app. Notepad. Has it opened? Okay, good. All right, so at every comma, tap enter. Let's separate it. That's the meaning of CSV actually. Comma separated values. No, leave the first line. Let's do it for the second line. Just Control Z. Okay, so the second line, okay, the first one, beautiful. So you see that the first one is your username. The second is your auto-generated password, while the last one is the URL. Okay, so copy the URL and paste it on your browser. Your URL automatically carries your account digit. I hope every other person is doing this as well. Copy the URL on the downloaded.csv file. Please paste. All right. So you see that this time you are signing in as an IAM user. Copy the username. Should not copy with the comma. Okay. Copy the password as well. That's it. Okay, so sign in. Okay, paste the old password again. Now enter your own custom password. Okay, probably the two new passwords does not rhyme. Password does not conform to the account password policy. That's what it's saying. Ensure it has an uppercase and one lowercase, at least minimum of one upper or lowercase. Ensure it has a special character. Ensure it has alphanumeric, it has numbers.
So while he's putting his password, can I ask a quick question?
Please go ahead.
I know that the bootcamp in general, this is just um, foundation for the
The
actual.
what?
I say this Linux is just like a foundation towards the DevOps.
Yes.
My question is at the end of the bootcamp, what stage would you be considered? Would you be considered a beginner, intermediate, and a expert? Are we looking at zero to hero or just beginner level?
Okay, so at the end of the boot camp is expected to end in December. We take 4 months to immerse ourselves properly into learning these tools. You'll be at a proficient user. Okay, before you can begin to say you are an expert or a consultant, you probably have spent not less than 5 years on a thing. Okay. Now I was telling
Yeah.
the class yesterday that DevOps does not have DevOps as a discipline is not an entry role discipline. Okay, let me break it down. Before you can become a DevOps engineer, it is expected that you've been around the tech space as some other discipline, software developer, server administrator, either Linux or Windows, cloud administrator, a database engineer. You've been around the tech space. Then you graduate into DevOps. The reason being that DevOps tools is not what you learn afresh. It is built on some other skills that you have. And it's the sole reason why a standard DevOps bootcamp on the minimum 4 months. So I laugh and at the same time cringe when I see folks saying they will make you a DevOps engineer in 1 month or in 2 months. Not even when you are in the college and that's what you learn 8 to 4 every day. Can't be. That will only happen if you already have knowledge of some things. So the initial Linux we are learning now, and then the cloud platform and IAC we want to learn before we get into learning DevOps tools is to cover, especially for those who are new into tech space, is to cover for what is expected of you to have known and tools you expect to have been learning all the years. Okay, so for someone who has been a Linux administrator for 5 years, that person can easily graduate into becoming a cloud and a DevOps engineer. All right. So we are trying to cover that gap with what we are doing now. So when we do that, what we now easily help you to settle into the discipline is projects. You run projects. And that is one difference we are bringing into this boot camp this time around. We're going to be heavy on projects. All right. So by the time we start properly next month, we believe you would have had good knowledge of Linux administration. And even if you are not starting with us, wherever you want to go and start, there's nothing they will be talking about when it comes to Linux that you're going to be blank. All right. And it will also
Yeah.
make your learning easy. Because some of the tools you're learning, not even so, 95% of the tools you're going to be using are around Linux environment. So when they are doing one, then they jump to 910 because you already have knowledge of Linux. You know what happens between 1 and 8. So it will make your learning easy. It will also make it easier for your trainer to move at a very good and considerate pace. So by the time you are done, you have on the minimum, you can claim 3 to 4 years experience. Now, this is the caveat. It is only those who have actually immersed themselves into this bootcamp, into this training, and not just by coming to class, by also going back to watch class videos and practice what they've learned. They practice it repeatedly to the point where they do not need class video to repeat what they've learned. and they also attempt the numerous assignments we're going to be giving them and classwork. Within you, you will know that I have truly learned this thing. That confidence will well off. Otherwise, you're just like any other person that paid people to fine-tune their CV for them, put any number of years there. But I do tell people, water will always find its level. So it's not enough to just come to class. It's not enough to say, okay, I've paid for the boot camp. You must also put your back.
Yeah, it's back.
I'm spilling some raw truth, and then Nato decided to cut me off. But I'll still say it nevertheless. Because
Yeah, no, it happens. It happens.
for me, this is the crux of the matter. Yeah, to say the truth and then be guided by the truth. Okay, so please, your determination will be very key to your excelling and to facilitate how fast you're able to land a job after this boot camp. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the reason I asked that question in particular is I have a friend, a colleague actually, that works in the DevOps environment,
Okay.
and the bootcamp he did was over 6 months. So when I told him, no, I found the bootcamp, it's 4 months. It was like, oh, the 4 months is too. On the contrary, while you were saying that some people do 1 month, on the contrary, is what was even saying that 4 months is too little for to do a DevOps. So he was like asking me to get more information about if you're going to cover the majority of the uh the tools within 4 months. So that was why I was actually asking.
I'm I'm
Um,
uh
just
I'm happy that you asked. Okay, so it will also help others to be guided properly. By the time we've learned Linux very well, towards the third month, which is the last month of August, the facilitator, Mrs. Bucknell, will be rolling out the boot camp program, the tools you're going to learn. Yeah, right from
yeah,
cloud services into uh, Terraform and then into all your CI/CD tools. Okay, you see all of that, and then you can now get back with your friend. Okay, look, this is what they said they're going to be teaching us, and this is the module operandi. Do you think it's worth it? And like I said, that's a sense of this first free boot camp for you to come and assess
yeah,
things for yourself, right? And I should also tell you, even 10 months will still be nothing to someone who is not willing to go back and practice. His boot camp is 100% hands-on. DevOps is not a literature course where you read. It is in the doing is where you know. So the knowing it is in the doing it, right? I've
yeah.
always shared my experience. It's actually a lazy experience, but I overcame it and I'm doing better. I bought a course in 2019 and I was given 1 year access to that course. Do you know 1 year passed and I didn't even open the course? Why? There was no zeal, there was no determination, procrastination. So my point is, even if you find yourself in a boot camp where they say it's going to be 10 months, but you don't go with the attitude of I want to know. you don't go back to practice, 10 months will elapse and you won't know anything. So my point is, this 4 months is actually 5 months, but we're not counting this Linux free one with it. But the 4 months will, for those that will be joining us for the boot camp, that 4 months is important for you to set time aside and immerse yourself in the learning and in the knowing. Okay. All right. I think we've done enough of pep talk. Okay. So, do you see Father Francis' screen? He's been able to sign in after so many attempts on a password. Do we see what is at the top right-hand side of the screen? Consultant at the account digit of the AWS account is signed into. Now let's test something. Please click on that consultant at, and let's go see if we are able to view your billing. So click billing and cost management. Okay, taking some time. Ready? You see that? Unavailable. At the left-hand side, please click on payment. Mm, your ISP is slow. Do you see that? This consultant IAM user is a full administrator on this account. Yet it says it doesn't have permission to access billing information for this account. So you're able to spot the difference between an IAM user that has full access and a root access. Okay, so that's it. Now we've been able to set up AWS accounts. We've also been able to create user group. We've also been able to create users, and we've been able to add users into a user group. And we've explained why we are doing that to us, especially for those that joined us early. For those that just joined, relax. The class is being recorded. We're going to make it available for you after the class. All right. Now we'll take ergonomics break. Our classes will run for 3 hours now, and when the boot camp starts proper, 3 hours. But after the first 90 minutes, we take 10 minutes ergonomic break for you to take a walk, stretch, release some tension from your body, drink water, visit the convenience, do all of that, and then we'll return. So we'll do that now. Should have done it at half hour, but we'll do that now. Maybe return, we will we will install and configure an SSH client, and then we'll also create our first cloud server on the AWS platform. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that before we finish class. And then that's what we're going to be doing today. It may seem we're going slow, but because it's our first class, we need to do all these front and backs. And then from our next class, we'll start learning Linux administration properly as a DevOps engineer should know it. Okay. So let's take 10 minutes ergonomics break now, please. let us continue. So the next thing we want to do is to set up SSH client. We'll set it up, and when we begin to use it, I will tell us what we use SSH client for. All right. So please, can you open a new tab or use some of the existing tabs here? And let's go and search for Termius. Termius. Download Termius. Termius. Okay, so the link that says termius.com, click on that. Are we together, everyone? Are you doing this with us? Mr. Gospel, Mr. Gabriel,
Yes, we are.
are we together?
Yes, we're together.
All right. So now we want to download Termius. It will probably detect your host operating system automatically. So if you're using Windows, if you're using Mac OS, it will work on any of your operating system. Okay. So do you want to click on download now? Have you done that?
Yes.
Okay, it's downloading. That's fine. All right. Yeah, almost there.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so if you are there, run it or install it. Just double click. It will install on your PC and it's going to create a desktop icon in your PC. Let it finish. Okay, click on it now. Install Termius.execute. And Father Francis, hear me. Click on it to install. Double click. Have you double clicked Father Francis?
I don't think it is done downloading.
Yes, I can see 248 of 248.
Yeah,
Okay, just go to your,
mine is still downloading as well. It's like 48%.
okay. Father Francis, go to your download folder and let's see the file. So double click on it from that point.
So does it matter if it was Microsoft, Apple, or Windows?
So if you're using MacBook and you're downloading the installations file, you should download the one that will run on MacBook.
Okay.
Do you copy? Otherwise, it won't run. To see it as an alien. So if you actually access it from the website, from their website, it's likely it will detect your operating system automatically. What's happening on your screen, Father Francis? Are you seeing something we are not seeing? If it has finished installation, it should show you a screen now.
Don't
We are
just
not seeing that.
just lagging.
It's probably your internet, your ISP.
So,
Who else has finished downloading and is installing? Who else? I'm waiting on us. Please communicate what's happening.
I am at the point where it's asking me to
Yeah, this
add,
is
add,
where I am.
add data to your vote.
Okay, so click on get started and let's get started. Uh, let's see. Click on I already use Stemios. Let's see something. It might ask you to sign in. Click I already use Stemios. It's at the bottom left side of this screen. Okay, so sign in. If you have a Gmail account, continue with Google. I hope you are all following. Your internet service provider is struggling. You probably have many things going on at the same time on your PC.
what we do with Google?
No, you can use any email address. It must not be Gmail. Do you copy?
I want to use an email. Oh,
Yeah, close that. I think those are the multiple ones that you clicked. Okay, so is it done? Mr. Gospel, Mr. Gabriel, where are you? Let's know.
I just put my password,
Okay.
encryption password.
Miss Chioma, I hope you are not lost. You joined the class late. You probably might not understand what we are doing, but if you have any challenge, please speak up.
So invite teammates that
Say that again.
necessary. It's asking to invite your teammates.
No. Skip. You will see skip at the right-hand side. No, the left-hand side. Have you seen it?
So
Yeah,
how
okay.
about where it says add data to your vault?
No, skip all of those.
Okay, skip all of it. Then start connecting, right?
Yes, please.
Say you've got
See,
full
14 days access.
You've got what?
Full access for 14 days.
Okay, that's fair. After 14 days, you won't be denied access. It's just that you will not be able to use some of the non-free services, but you will still be able to SSH. Okay. Right, I think Father Francis is dragging with Google. Father Francis, do we need to write Google on your behalf?
I don't know.
Use your passkey to confirm it's really you.
I think I'm done now.
You're done.
I should think so.
Okay,
Asking
so
me to type host's name to connect.
if you are done, is this the screen you are seeing? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
But you won't see all these plenty hosts because you have not created anyone for yourself
Yes.
yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Oh,
see
beautiful. New host, terminal, and all of that.
choose your
Yeah,
yeah
good. So let's wait
and
for Father
serial. Yeah.
Francis. Father Francis, where are you?
I'm here.
Have you been able to, or you try another email if Google is not helping you? Do you have another email?
No.
Uh-oh. So you need to find your way
You,
around the.
you can also go back to the point where it says sign in. Then instead of using Google, just sign in with an email.
Oh, that's true. That's
They'll
true.
send you authentication to your to that email that you use. Then you can put in
That's correct. Do
the
you copy
password
that?
that they sent.
Yes.
So share your screen. I said it at the beginning of the class that this class is for setting up workstation. It's going to be front and back, and it's always like this. But from the next class, all of us already know the screen we are going to. Just come to class and then we begin to learn right away. Share your screen. Let's okay, it's coming up. Cancel this, okay. Can you close this one as well? Can you give me access?
Yeah, I think it's in now. Get started.
Okay, I think there is multiple Themeus installation going on. So we need to carefully close one. Okay. How many Themeus installation sessions happening here at once? Just hold on. I'm trying to do one or two housekeeping here. If you want to cancel setup, yes, I want to cancel the setup. Close. Can you press Control Alt Delete on your keyboard? Control, Alt, Delete. Because these are some of the things that may probably be slowing down your PC at the moment. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So press Control, hold it down, press Alt, hold it down, and press Delete.
Done that.
Okay, I'm supposed to see your task. Your task manager. I need to forcefully shut down some things running. What's the... Anyway, that's not necessary. Let's just be patient so I can quickly help him put some things here.
Plenty of things running at the same time.
Okay. Six Themius sessions. That's just too much, and it's taking... You see why the system is slow? 92% of the memory is in use. What's your RAM size, Father Francis?
I don't think it's up to 50, 2 gig or something. It's a small system. It's a small laptop that I'm using.
Because it's even not responding to my clickings from here.
Bruh. I think I need to do
Okay,
something.
so yes, you might just excuse you and then move on. You
Okay.
probably watch the class video to catch up. The PC is loaded with so many things. Okay. Because I want us to at least create our first server today, and then we move on from there. Okay, so I'm going to give up to remote control. I'm going to share my screen, and then, so you might just want to follow up. So we have successfully set up our Themius. Let's go and launch an instance. So everybody return to your AWS console. When you get to your AWS console, this is what you should be seeing on your AWS console. Can you see my browser? Can you see my console home?
Yes, you can.
Correct. So if you can see my console home, click on AWS icon here. It will show, sorry, click on services. I mean, not AWS. Click on services. Scroll down to compute. Click on services.
Then
Scroll down to
compute.
compute and then EC2. You might want to bookmark that as well by clicking on the star icon. Okay. So I have EC2 on my bookmark bar. If you don't get it, go to the search pane and type EC2. It will show you searches related to EC2. This is it. EC2 means Elastic Compute Cloud, and that's what AWS calls their own virtual servers, cloud servers, EC2 instance. We'll talk about that when we get into AWS. So click on your EC2. It takes you to the EC2 dashboard. Dashboard. So what we want to do is to launch an instance. So launching an instance, you scroll down and then you click launch instance. It has an orange background. So click launch instance now. Okay, you want to give it any name? I'm going to give my own JTT24 server. Okay, that's the name I want to give mine. You want to give your own, any other name you want to. Now, because we want to learn Linux, the server we are about to launch will run on Linux. Okay, so there are different operating systems. So look at it: Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu is also Linux. This is Windows OS. Red Hat is also Linux. This is SUSE is also Linux. Debian is also Linux. So these are the popular ones. Okay, we will start with Amazon Linux. On the Amazon platform, Amazon have their own version of virtually all kinds of developers and DevOps tools out there. Okay. Now, Linux has many distros. In our next class, I'll be exposing us to the different distros of Linux and how they are categorized. Okay. So let's just click on Amazon Linux. And when you do that, look at Amazon machine image, drop it down. If you drop it down, you will see the first two have free tier eligible boldly in front of them. So if you don't want to incur any charge, stick with using free tier services for now, right? So we're going to start with Amazon Linux 2. Are you with me?
Yes.
So click Amazon Linux 2. And now the instance type is talking about the specification of the server. Now, when you go to buy a PC, laptop or desktop, they ask you after what brand you want. Is it MacBook or Windows or Samsung? The next thing they ask you is what spec do you want? So by spec, they're asking what's the RAM size you want, what's the storage size, what's the CPU, all of that. Okay. And that is what AWS use instance type for. Okay. There are a lot of instance type here, depending on the uh, the app that will be running on the server. But because we are the elementary stage we are learning, we'll stick to T2 micro. It is also free tier eligible. So we click on T2 micro. Key pair. If I drop down my key pair name, you will see that I have a key pair already. I would not need to create new key pair. But for you that does not have a key pair, click on create new key pair. Okay, give it a name. For me, I might just call it the name of the region I am. I mean, Ireland region. How do you know the region where you are? Look at my mouse hovering over it. So on the AWS platform, there are different regions. What regions are? When we get into AWS properly, I will explain, I'll break it down for you. For now, let's stick to learning Linux. So I can just put Ireland-KP, meaning that's my own KPN name. You can choose to put whatever name you want to use. But I encourage you that you put hyphen or underscore KP so that when you're looking for it, you can easily search it with KP. When you've done that, leave every other thing as is, and then just click on create key pair. When you click on create key pair, it will automatically download the private key file of the pair. Let me know if yours has done that.
Yes.
Okay. It will download the private key file of the pair. You will need it. And when we get to where you need it, I'll let you know. Okay. So if you've done that, drop down this arrow now. You should be able to see the key pair you just created. Select it, and let's move on.
I don't
Now
think
we
mine is
edit.
working.
Go ahead.
I don't think mine is working. I put the name on this
When you click on create key
dash.
pair, you put the name here,
Yeah,
and then you click on create key pair.
it's not responding when I create the keeper, when I click on that tab.
Is it grayed out?
Oh, okay. I think something is my window. There's a pop-up window.
What does
That's
it say?
supposed to happen to save it in my file. To save it, is that what I'm supposed to do?
What does it say?
Okay. Guess maybe created it. There's something going on, but give me a second. Uh,
We're waiting for you.
okay. I think it's there now.
Okay.
I think it's gone now. I was just being slow before. Wasn't responding.
All right. So under network settings, we are able to select security group. Security group is firewall. What firewall does is it determines what traffic comes in or what traffic leaves the server. Okay. So we're going to create a security group of our own instead of using the default security group. To do that, look at network settings where my mouse is hovering. Take your cursor to edit. Okay. When you click on edit, you scroll down to where you see security group name required. Remove what is there and put the name you would like your security group to bear. If I were you, I would also put Ireland dash this time around SG. Ireland dash SG, meaning security group. The first one is dash or underscore. Either you use an hyphen or an underscore. Ireland dash SG. That's all you need to do. If you've done that, leave the configure storage at 8 gig. Scroll down and click on launch instance. If you've done that, scroll down and click on launch instance.
Okay.
So what is this telling you? What are you seeing?
Successfully initiated launch of instance.
Beautiful. Do you see an ID starting with I, instance ID?
Instance ID.
Yeah, there's an ID there.
So click on the ID. It should take you to the instance. Look at the ID I'm referring to.
Okay.
Start with
Yeah.
an I. So click on it. It should take
Mhm.
you to the instance. Now we have our first EC2 instance. My instance state is pending. Okay, it is now running. Look at it. So we need to access the terminal or the SSH prompt. You can access it from our console here, or we go and use Temios, our SSH client. But let's access it from here. Click on the instance ID of the server of interest. This is JT, this should be 24, not 23. Let me edit this. 24 server, yep. So the instance ID, click on the instance ID again. And then click on connect. Can you see where my mouse is hovering, where my cursor is hovering? Click on
Yes.
connect.
Yes.
When you click on connect and you scroll down, you will see two vital things you always need for SSH. The public IP address of the server and the first user name, the first user on that server, which is EC2 user. By the time we begin to launch other distros of Linux, you may not find their username as EC2 user. So you must always come to this screen to check the appropriate username. Okay, if this is good, then you click connect. The next connect will now take us to our Linux shell prompt. Do you see
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Are you here? So this
Yes, I'm
is
there.
where we'll be coming to from next class, where we'll coming to learn. So if I run print working directory, pwd, meaning show me the current directory I am. That's it. Okay, and then clear. Okay. Clear. All right. Now, don't forget, we are connected to this shell prompt from our browser. So whatever happens here might interfere with the smooth stability of this SSH session. That's why we downloaded Temios. Temios is specifically for that purpose. While connecting on the browser means that even any of these tabs here can affect it. Whatever happens to the browser, then it cancels our session, and it can be painful. You do something serious and your session just went off like that. That's why we're now going to use Temios. So everyone, please pop up your Temios and let me show you what we'll be doing here. Are we together?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So we needed to go and add the key first. Remember the key you downloaded.
Yes.
All right. So click on keychain. You do not have anything here, but I have a lot of this. When you click on keychain, look at key. Click on key here.
If you click on keychain, it shows SSH key, add
Yes.
FIDO2,
Click on
security,
SSH key. That's
add.
because it's your first time. Add, yes.
Okay.
Then you should be seeing this screen now.
Yes.
See where my mouse is.
Yes.
So when you have that, click on import from key file. Click on
Import
that.
from keychain.
If you've clicked that, then It will take you to your local drive. See, navigate to where the private key file that was downloaded when you created key pair and click
Yes.
on it.
Yeah.
If you click on it, click open.
Yep.
Can you see that's populated here?
Yes.
The next thing you want to do is you save. Okay.
How does it show if it saves?
Then you should see under the keys here. Click on keychain again. If you click on
Okay.
keychain, then you should see it.
Okay.
Have you seen yours?
Yes. Then we can close.
You don't have to close. Return to host.
Okay. Yep.
If you return to host, this time let us bring in a new host. So click on new host. I hope you're all following. If you
No, I
click
can't
on new
find.
host, at the right-hand side, you will see address, general, and then SSH on this port 22. Go to the address, IP or host name, the
Okay.
public IP of the EC2 instance we launched. Remember I said when you click on connect, to take you to this screen, look at the public IP address. Do you see this?
Yeah.
You copy this and paste here. That's one. Next thing is you give a name to this session.
You're too fast.
Okay, so where are you?
EC2. I'm trying to get a public key.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So go to this place on your own to get the public IP address of your server. Just click. Anyway, let's do it again. Come here. Instances. All right. So if you click on the server of interest and click on the instance ID and then click connect. If you click connect, it will bring you to where you have the public IP and the username.
Yes.
Is everybody
I
here?
copy the public IP.
But let's confirm if everybody is following so far. Is everybody here, please? Mr. Father Francis, Mr. Gabriel, Miss Choma.
Following. I'm following.
All right, thank you. So copy the
I'm
public
not,
IP.
please. I just
Oh, you just joined. Okay. Anyway, the class is being recorded. You'll be able to
okay. I'll
watch
watch
thereafter.
it. Thank you.
So copy the public IP and paste it where it's asking for address for a new host.
Okay.
When you've done that, give it a label. I'll still call it GTT 24 server. If you've done that, scroll down. By the time you do this repeatedly over the next 3 weeks, you'll be able to SSH into your server. When you wake up from morning sleep, it will become very innate with you. Some of these things look difficult because it's probably your first time. But take my word for it, it will become so innate with you that without looking at the screen, you can guide people on SSHing. So if you've done that, look at where you have username. What's the username? Come back to your instance, look at the username here. You will not be able to copy it if you want to copy it. So you just memorize it, EC2-user. You return to your terminus and keep EC2-user. user. If you've put the username, next is password. To bring in our password, we use the keychain that we added. So click on key here, and then click on this key again. Don't be lost. Click on this key. You click on this key, probably might show you keys again. Click on key. It will list all the key you have saved on this SSH client. Mine is Mo Ireland. That's it. Okay. The next thing you do is connect. Add and continue. And that's it. So you notice that this screen is similar to this screen. However, this one is better because this tool is dedicated to this purpose. Unlike when you connect from the browser where other things are dragging with your SSH session. Okay. So as from next class, we come to this screen and we begin to learn. Okay, so you can close the session here, but closing the session does not mean your instance has been terminated until you come and terminate the instance that you can say it has been terminated. So after you are done, go ahead.
How do you terminate the session?
You said?
How do you terminate it?
I just click and close. Look at it again.
Okay.
Look at this X here.
Okay. X. Okay.
All right. But that you terminated the session does not mean the instance on your AWS platform has been terminated. You see, it is still running. So let's say you're done practicing. Two things you can do to your server. You either stop it or you terminate it. At this level, I will recommend that you terminate. Check the server of interest, ensure it's the one you checked, drop down instance state, and terminate instance. Okay, so why do I encourage you to terminate? You will be forced to create instance again. And you know this is hands-on. The more you do it or you repeat something, the better understanding and knowledge you have. Okay, that's what I'm saying. New entrants like you should terminate instances. Now,
So
I
where
should
did you
also
click, where did you click to shut it down?
drop down
Instance.
instance state,
Okay.
click on terminate.
Okay.
Now, AWS for EC2 gives you 750 hours every month. It does not roll over. So let's say the 3 instances you are seeing right now, none of them is live. 2 are stopped, 1 has been terminated. Assuming the 3 of them are running and they are T2 micro, this one is T3 medium, it is not free. Let's say these 3 instances are T2 micro, free tier eligible, and they are running. AWS says for the 3 of them, I have a total of 750 hours for the 3 of them to run. Beyond 750 hours within the same month, AWS will start to charge you. So either you have launched 1 free tier instance or 10 free tier instances. They are only free for the first 750 hours after you've launched them. Beyond that, you begin to pay. Does that make sense? Hello, class? Do you copy what I just said?
Yeah, I'm still trying to terminate, but it's not. It's still showing as running.
Did you click on it?
Yeah, that's the only server that I have running.
Okay, so click on the instance ID then.
Instance ID, okay?
Are you here?
Yeah, it's showing running.
State. Drop down instance state.
Terminate instance, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, remember that you have 750 hours. Okay, so you will not be on your screen practicing 24 hours. This is what I suggest, or this is what I encourage. Launch an instance. When you're done practicing, terminate the instance, or you stop the instance. Either of the two will pause your 750 counting down. Okay. Let's say you are with your system now. Once you terminate the instance, that instance is gone. You have to launch another instance if you want to use a Linux server. That process of repeatedly terminating, launching a new one helps you to build practice. You're practicing. Unlike if you stop, you just come, start it, and you keep and you start working. But because you're terminating, you're forced to launch another. And by the time you launch 4 or 5 times, you're used to launching instances. That's one. Two, let me show you something quickly. Go back and click on launch instance. Okay. Because you have successfully launched an instance before, you have two things. You have key pair here, and you have security group. Is that correct? You have key pair and you have security group. Are we together?
Yeah.
Now, subsequent times that you want to launch other EC2 instances and you are within the same region, you do not need to be creating new key pairs each time you want to launch an instance. Please take note. I'll say it again. Do not create key pair every time you are launching an instance. One is enough for this Linux. So for those that terminated their instance, you want to launch another one. When you get to key pair, don't create a new one. Just drop down this arrow and select the one that you created.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Yes.
the first one. The same thing with security group. Okay, at this level, security group own is actually dicey, but at this level, this is what you need to know. Don't create new one. Check, select existing security group, drop down the arrow and select the one you just created. And then you can go with other things. So what I'm saying is, do not litter AWS EC2 dashboard with key pairs. One is enough. Also, do not litter AWS EC2 dashboard with security group. One is enough. Okay. We've come to the end of class today. Are there questions?
Um, for me, I think where I got stuck was the termin the termin
Emius. Okay, so
terminus where
if
you're
the
trying.
class video will be ready uh within the hour, and then our facilitator will get it across to us. Okay, but I encourage you, please send your email addresses to the facilitator. Okay, because class
All right.
videos, apart from this class, will henceforth be shared privately. So that means you have to sign into YouTube with the email you submit with us for you to be able to access the class videos. Okay, so please get it across to Mrs. Buck now. All right. Any other question, please?
Please, where did we download that key?
When did you download it?
Where did we download it from AWS?
No, when you click on create new key pair and you put the name and then click create, it downloaded the private key file of the pair for you. And by default, it should be in your download folder. So
So
if
that
you
was
go,
what I was. Yeah, that was what I was mentioning earlier when I had a bit of delay because when I created it, I was mentioning that there was a window that was populated. I think it was asking me to save, but
oh, okay,
I ended up not saving it because I didn't know what was going on then. I didn't save
okay.
the, but I
Oh, sorry
just
about
still
that. I
want.
actually said it that the moment you click on create, it will download the private file of the pair. You know, it is a pair, key pair. It means public and private file. That's two things make a pair. So AWS will download for you the private key file of that pair and retain the public on its own, on your own AWS account.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
So
why
if you
when you're
skip that
coming to,
process, there's no way you can see the key pair again.
no, you can't see it again. All you need to do is just to create. It means you didn't create. Okay. Let me quickly show you. If your key pair was created, look at the left hand side under
Okay.
network and security. Do you see key pairs here? If I
Yes.
click on this key pair, this is it. Okay. But I will not be able to see the private key file of this again if I didn't download it the first time I created it. So what I can do is, it means this guy is useless. I'll check this and then delete it. When I delete it, I can now create a new key pair. Do you see this? New kp dot pem, please. The extension should be dot pem. This will work
Well,
for
that's,
most
uh,
SSH clients.
So sorry to take you back. So the fact that we've terminated the other instance means that we can't use the key pair again. We
No,
have to
that's not what
do
I
book a
said. No, no,
new
no, no, no.
server.
No. If you have
Okay.
listened carefully, I just said that subsequent times you are launching new instances, you do not need to create new key pair. Did you hear me when I said that?
Yes.
So I'm doing this just to show you that you can create multiple key pairs, which I discourage you from doing.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
showing you this because someone was unable to download their own private file of the pair. If you're unable to download or if you can't see where it is on your system, then it means that key pair is not useful. Okay.
okay.
Every time you need to SSH into your server, using an SSH client, you must provide the key pair, the private key file of your SSH key pair. But if you can't find it, then this one, let's say, look at this Moman Island KP now. Let me show you the private key file of that pair. Good question, by the way. Okay, I want to share. In fact, share my entire screen. Good. See what I did. In my download folder, I created a new folder and called it key pairs. So all my key pairs are here for each region. This is London region, North Virginia, Ohio, Oregon, because I will not be able to use London region key pair when I'm working from North Virginia. I won't be able to use the key pair of another region, of one region in another region. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I understand that, but yeah.
this Mobile Island KP now on my AWS account, the private file of this pair is downloaded into my local drive, which is this. So if I do not see this again, it means this guy is useless. You can use it to launch an instance, but you can't SSH into that instance from an external client. Why? By the time it is asking you to upload this guy, you can't find it.
Okay, so
So what I encourage you to do is in that situation whereby I can't find the downloaded private key file of this, all right? First, be sure that there is no server using it currently. If there is none, check and delete it. Then create a new one.
okay.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to say when I click the key pairs that you just mentioned, I could see a name the way I had it, I saved it. So I don't know. You said I wasn't supposed to see it if it wasn't saved initially, but I could see it. I see it here.
No, I didn't say that. You will see it
Okay.
if it's created successfully. But what I'm saying is you are unsure if it's downloaded a private file of this pair, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't think you download it.
So only you know how you set your system. In other people's system, it did not ask them if they want to save it or not. Or did he ask you to save it or not? Others that have been able to
He
do
asked
this.
he asked me to save it. Like there was a window popped up, asked me to save it, but I didn't save it.
Okay, so that's your own system. That's how you set it. Others, it did not ask them. It didn't ask me.
Yeah,
Let's try and
mine
create
go
one.
to download.
Look at it from here now. Create keeper. Let me call it new KP. And I'm using .pem. .pem is what we should use. And I click on create keeper. Do you see that it automatically downloaded the private key file for me? Do you see?
Yes.
So that's what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
see that.
Yeah. So if you're creating a new one and it's asking if you should save, say yes, save it. Probably did something to your system, maybe a security layer. It doesn't automatically save download files, which is good.
So quick one
Okay.
before you go, coach.
Go ahead,
I
sir.
just tried to create a new server now,
Okay.
and on the Linux side is okay, but I'm trying to pair it with Temius, and it's telling me connection failed with connection log.
Okay. So did you use a key pair?
I use the previous keypad that I have for
Yes,
because
it
it's
is not
telling
previous. It is a key pair. So
yeah,
don't
that's the
think
same
it
one.
expires anytime. No, it is there. Did you use security group?
Yes, I use security group. Yes,
Did you select the existing security group that
yes,
you are using?
yes.
Okay. Are you able to share your screen now?
Uh, No, because I'm still using my phone.
So that's the challenge.
That's the
So
challenge.
as from next class, everybody connect to the Zoom meeting from your PC so that, because if you can't share your screen, there's no way I can troubleshoot with you. Okay. So what the problem might probably be is maybe you have not used the key pair, you're thinking you've used it, or you've not used the, or when you try to connect, what username did you use?
I use the username of the new server that I created.
What's the name there?
The previous server was UD. This one is Bliss. So it's two different servers that I created.
Yes.
On Amazon is working fine, but try to connect it to the new host is not working.
Okay, good. Your username will not be your own custom name. Your
Okay,
username
no, the username is EC something.
EC2-user. Is that what you put there? You know, there's a place we enter names. The
Yes,
label, that one is whatever name you want to put. But the username is the user on the Linux server. And I showed
okay,
you where to see
okay,
the
yes,
username of your server.
yes, I get it now.
So if you go to username and put your own custom name, such user does not exist on the server. Look at this guy now. This is EC2 user. Okay, all of this I'll be explaining when we start Linux properly. So it is I can forgive you for making such a honest mistake. Okay, so change it to the appropriate username, which is always, if you've launched Amazon Linux, the default username will always be EC2 user, except you go back and create a new user inside the server. Okay, so try that again now as it works. Hello, sir, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so try with the new username, with the appropriate username rather. It should work now.
EC2 user.
EC2 hyphen. I showed us where to see your username on your console, the username of the server. In fact, it doesn't change. If it is Amazon Linux, the default username will always be EC2 user. If it is Ubuntu, the username is Ubuntu. If it is Fedora, Red Hat, the username is EC2-user. The only thing you can vary is the tag name or the
Yes,
label.
it's working now.
All right, so that's it.
So for me, I guess I went back to the key on Temias, and I tried to, you know,
The challenge here is you can't share your screen. It is
yeah, right.
troubleshooting is smooth and it's easy if you're able to share your screen, but you didn't connect from your screen.
No.
Yeah. So from next class, you see how easy it was when we were seeing Father Francis' screen. We could guide him where to go and where to go. You know, because I would just be working blindly if I'm trying to troubleshoot without seeing your screen. Okay, so this is what I would suggest. If you have not created a new key pair, come to key pairs here. Delete all the ones you have in this place.
I just created a new key first. So when I went to the key
Did you
in
download it? Did you download the
yeah,
private key file? So
yeah.
that means you're good to go. You can now go to your terminals and add the key pair.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's where I am now. So I don't know. I added this. So it asked me to select the key pair from the folder, which
Have
I
you gone
did
to
now. It asked me.
keychain? You click on keychain. Have you? Look at my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Click on keychain.
yeah,
Did you see key?
yeah.
Then
I did
press in
that.
on my screen. You've done that. Are you
Yeah,
seeing
and
the keys listed here?
so I did that. So it asked me to go select from the folder. from my Windows folder.
Okay, so have you
So
selected it?
I've selected it, so it's asking me to export to host. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
No, if you selected it, just save. You see
Okay.
a check, like a mark at the top right hand side. There are three of it. One is check, the other is connect. I think I was in the middle. Okay, but if
I
you
don't
have
see.
exported it, you can leave that screen. It is probably saved. Just come back to keychain and let's see if you have your key pair listed under keys. Sorry, your private key listed under keys.
Yeah, it's showing, so I don't know if
Is what?
yeah, it's showing. It's showing. I can see it. Well,
So if it is showing, that
I
means it
thought
is there. You can go ahead and use it.
so. Yeah, but I don't know if there's anything. I thought I was supposed to do some other stuff
The
to.
other stuff you're supposed to do, we've done it already. So just probably watch the class video. Because what
All
that
right.
means is I'll now have to begin to show you how we SSH.
Okay.
We are supposed to have ended the class by now. So just be
All right.
patient when the class video is out. Watch the class video and then you can catch up from there.
All right.
Any other question? Okay, so that's it. We've come to the end of class. We'll move faster than this. Not that we're going to rush, but we'll move at a very good pace to learn all that we've planned to teach us in the next 6 classes. Please come to class early so we can start early and then we can entertain questions and we can learn at good pace. Should you have any question as regards the boot camp, if it's administrative questions, please ask Miss Bucknell. If it is technical questions, take a screenshot of the error you're having while you're practicing, put it on the page. Either your colleague that has passed through that stage will answer it, or I will answer it. Even if your colleague tried to answer and I see the response is not correct, I'll correct it. But if the response is good, if it is what will work, I'll give it a thumbs up. The page is also for accountability sake. So when you see your colleagues doing it, you also will be encouraged to do it. All right. Thank you everyone for coming. It is not late if you know you have friends who would also like to learn this free. This is a rare opportunity. Okay, get the link and then send to them as well. That's it. The gradual process journey to tech has started. Please enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you on the group or I'll see you on Thursday. Goodbye, everyone.
Have a good one. Good night, everyone.
Bye,
Good night.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless. Really appreciate.